Hello everyone, it's Adam here. Man, it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. This is kind of a state of the union, I guess, for the channel and for what's going on. I think I'll do bike stuff at the end because the golf Volkswagen people have been really underrepresented lately, so I'm going to do bike stuff at the end. So if you're here for bike content, scroll ahead to somewhere. I'll try to remember. As you guys know, I don't remember that well when I promise things in my videos. I'll try to remember to put like a link here or something for you guys to fast forward. And this video should actually look a lot better than the last video, and that's because I'm shooting this on the Canon 5D Mark III with the 50mm lens at f3.5, I think. Hopefully the focus worked out. I don't want to lean too far forward because I'll go into full bokeh. And actually, I wanted to start with that because I bought the Olympus, where is that thing? I bought the Olympus LX10 before my March road trip from Florida to New Hampshire. And I bought it because I had taken the 5D down with me to Florida and I never unpacked it throughout the entire trip. I never used it. So I got this guy. He stays in the tank bag. I can use it for easy clips with my gloves on. I still use it for that. And I thought it's 4K, so it's going to be way better than the 1080p maximum 30 FPS on the Canon. Boy, was I wrong. And you guys that are video people know this, but resolution is not everything. 4K is fine. It's future-proofed, I guess. But to be honest, this looks amazingly better. And it should, right? I mean, we're looking at a lens that costs 3 times as much as this, and we're looking at a body that costs 5 times as much as this. So you're looking at a $5,000 rig versus a $450 rig. So the 4K did not... There's no comparison. This is a much better setup. So anyway, this has been great, but this is obviously better for this kind of videos. I've been using this for a while. So like my last video about coffee, I used this thing. Big mistake. It has some awful autofocus. It can't follow my face fast enough. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so quick channel update. I gotta go to the YouTube dashboard here because I wanna go over this with you guys. Okay, so we're at the YouTube dashboard page. We're at 1,500 subscribers, which is crazy. Now, as you know, about was it in December? Let's see. Let's do a big backtrack here. December 28th, we had. I'm just going to go through the stats here. We had 1,000 subscribers. I made $500 the whole year of 2016. I gained 500 subscribers over the previous year. So all of 2016, I gained 500 subscribers. Made $500, and we had done 1 million minutes of views in 2016, which was a great sort of like, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to go to the analytics page, so I want to show you where we are now. Now that we're in September, so we're in the fourth quarter of the year. I'm going to do this year only, so 2017. So far in 2017, we've had 1.2 million minutes of views. So we've already surpassed last year's views by 200,000, and we're not even in December yet. Average view duration is up from 2 minutes 9 seconds to 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So we've almost doubled our engagement. Views are up from we had 500,000 views total so far, and so far since September 1st, this is about a week or so behind. We made $628. I know, like that's a lot of money. It's more than last year's by almost $128, and it's not even end of the year yet. So I'm thrilled with the progress. I really am. As for likes, 1,700, dislikes, 425. It's gonna happen. 673 comments, 619 shares, and we've earned 469 subscribers so far in 2017. So thank you so much, those of you that subscribe. You know, up to this point, I think it's in the engagement bit here. These demographics, subscribers. I think right now we still have 97% people that watch the videos are not subscribers, only 3% are. So it's amazing that how much we're actually able to do with just the YouTube organic search and suggested videos. And I actually had people complain about like all the Golf R content, but they weren't subscribers because I kept getting suggested to them in their sidebar, and that's just going to happen because I post a lot of videos on singular subjects that I'm interested in. I have very focused hobbies, and then I drill into them for like a year or two, and I jump to another thing and drill into that. So this channel is going to progress. I mean, 10 years from now, it's going to be a wildly different beast than it is today. So those guys that are subscribed, I acknowledge that it's kind of a pledge, a buy-in, if you will, on the story more than just the content. So that's something I really I don't take for granted. But I'm not going to make videos to appease one segment. So, but with that, I'm not selling the Golf R. I'm keeping the Golf R. Why hasn't it been in videos lately? Well, I've been saving up money in my Golf R account for the upcoming repairs that are happening. So this Monday, the 11th, on Wednesday, dropping off at Red Line in Hartford to get the following done. A new oil pan to replace the one from House of Dub that is rusted through, almost rusted through ahead of the winter season. House of Dub did not respond to any of my support inquiries. They're on my shit list. Don't buy from House of Dub. If you guys email me from House of Dub and say your email was in our junk mail folder, we're very sorry. We apologize. Here's a coupon code for your subscribers. I'll let you guys know that they did that. But for now, don't buy from those shitheads. I mean, they sell things that everyone else sells. The only thing they had that was unique at the time was this aftermarket steel oil pan. And then a week or two after my event, ECS did theirs, and all of a sudden USP has theirs. So now House of Dub's reason for existing is completely nilch, in my opinion. And if they don't have customer support to back it up, then they can go fuck themselves. So House of Dub's off. I got a I got a steel oil pan from a guy in Vortex for $60. It includes the sealant and all the gasket and everything you need. He had bought it, never opened it, never used it, still in the shrink wrap. So I'm going to replace the House of Dub with the USP branded one. They may even be made in the same Chinese factory. Well, I'll let you know in a year. If that one rusts through too, then we'll see if USP stands by their product. With that, obviously, it's going to be another oil change, which kind of sucks. I just did the oil change. Let's do a quick stat, actually, because you guys should totally, as I always say, join mycarfax.com and submit all your data when you do your own oil changes and such. I did the oil change for 30,000 miles. I did it early. The oil change was done May 9th at 27,750 miles. That's rewarded May 9th. June, July, August, September 9th. So we've been 4 months since my oil change. And for 27,000 miles, we are now at, I'm using Fuelie. Fuelie is also a public profile, so you guys can check me out on Fuelie if you want to. We're at 29,855. So I've driven 2,300 miles from May to September in my Golf R, and the reason is the motorcycle. In the summertime, I bike. I'm not going to take the car everywhere. I take the car to the track or to the drag strip. I take it to car meets, car shows, but I don't really drive it that much. It's just there's no point in driving it, and so yeah, lowers appreciation because I will drive it all winter again for the third year in a row. Heather and I plan on getting a joint carpooling car next year that she'll use in the summertime, that we'll both use in the wintertime, and trying to find like a $250 a month lease, roughly, something hybrid or electric. We're thinking Bolt, Volt, or i3 as our top choices. Maybe even a 230i or something. Whatever is the best lease deal at the time. I have deals through TomTom for leased vehicles from Chevy, GM, and BMW. So I might go with one of those. Either way, the Golf will be on the road for another winter, which pains me because the undercarriage is starting to show visible signs of rust. And those of you that watch the brake change video know that the brakes really were way more rusted than they should have been for a 2-year-old car, but that's just how it is up here. So back to my story though, with the change of oil pan, we're putting new 5W40 oil in. We're in liquid moly this time over Motul. No real reason. Liquid moly, just trying a different oil. It's not a big deal. And that's only going to be a 3,000 mile oil change. Oh well. Also at the same time, we're doing the CTS crank pulley upgrade on the 2.0T engine for the Golf R. I'm guessing it's going to leave 5 horsepower of gains. It's not a huge deal, but it's one of those mods that once you've done everything else and you're not doing a bigger turbo, you do it. We're also going to be replacing the Bull X downpipe with another Bull X downpipe, brand new from the factory. Bull X came through and sent me a new one. That's going on. I guess send the old one back to them so they can inspect it for what happened. They let me know what happened. They're forthcoming about it. I'll definitely make a video here and tell you guys what happened. And I'll make sure to include a statement from Bull X on what they've done to alleviate this problem going forward. I had not heard of this issue failing with anyone else. Bull X is a highly regarded downpipe, despite the issues I had early on with installation. Everyone seems to like the downpipe a lot. So, I don't know. I'll keep you guys up to date on what happens with that one. Other than that, we're getting new spark plugs, just because I have them on hand, and the guys can do it with some with care. What else are they doing? Oh man, I believe that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's all they're doing. So it's unfortunate that I wanted to make 3 videos. I wanted to make a video on how to swap the oil pan, a video on the exhaust, and a video on the crank pulley. But I couldn't make those for you because the lift I use from my girlfriend's dad is occupied with his 80s Jaguar that's having a lot of electrical issues. He can't even get it off the ramp. It's a 5,000-pound V12 car. So I couldn't find another lift to use. If one of you guys sees this and can you'll borrow a lift, that'd be great. But I wanted to make videos for you guys on how to do this stuff, and I can't. Which really it eats into the revenue. It would have been an extra $100 in revenue to have these 3 videos up for all of time, but that's not going to happen because of the lift issue. So paying someone to do it's probably going to be about 4 hours of labor to get the whole thing done. So I don't know. Sucks, but that's how it goes. That's probably for car content. As far as future things, it's a really interesting point in the Mark 7 world because the Mark 7.5s are coming out. You've got revised fenders, front and rear fenders. You've got revised headlights and taillights. You've got a few niceties like the nicer screen, the digital dash. All these things are bolt-ons to the core platform. There's nothing really changing about the cars as far as stateside. The Europeans are getting a few extra horsepower. That's just a minor modification of the tuning. The engine and the turbo are unchanged. So it's like I could spend $5,000 turning my Mark 7 Golf R into a 7.5, and a lot of guys are doing this. And good for them. It really is an admirable thing. But I'm not going to do that. The plan is to keep the Golf R, obviously. I'm going to pay it off in the next 18 months, and then I'll keep it until the Mark 8 Golf R comes out. It's either going to be the first model year or second model year that I'll get the Mark 8 Golf R. This one, the plan, and life happens, right? I could have a kid or something. I could lose my job. All those kinds of things can happen. But the current life plan here is to keep the Mark 7 Golf R forever. Put it in the garage, in the barn. Throw a bigger turbo in there. Over time, build up the engine to be stronger with actual internal upgrades, and strip it down and make it a insanely fast track car, and have a Mark 8 GTI or a Mark 8 Golf R as the replacement. The Mark 8 GTI, it's going to have better gas mileage. It's going to have a much more intelligent limited slip diff than the current GTI does, and definitely better than the Golf R has, but it doesn't have one. It's going to have similar horsepower, allegedly, as the current Mark 7 Golf R, and better gas mileage because it has the lower weight from not having a rear axle. And it'll have all the creature comforts of the Mark 8 Golf R in the top trim, but it'll be like $5,000 cheaper. So it's almost as if a Mark 8 GTI would be better or on par with my Mark 7 Golf R was stock, and just not have all-wheel drive. And if I'm not driving the car in the wintertime and we have the lease that we're going to do, there's no point in owning an all-wheel drive summer car. Something to think about. So we'll see what happens when in 2019, 2020 model year when these Mark 8 Volkswagens come out. But I intend to stick with the platform. I'd love to see a 2.5 liter upgrade. I get a feeling that we're going to get a 1.8 and a 2.0 GTI and the 2.0 Golf R with better all-wheel drive, but it's never going to have quattro just because of the size of the platform. So that's it for the Golf R world. I don't want to do a larger turbo or anything until the car is paid off in my second car. I don't want to blow up and be stuck on the side of the road with a $2,000 mechanics bill and parts for a car that I have to rely on to get to work when it's snowing. So that's the situation. I have an email into Shop DAP right now because I bought this 1.8T air filter for Heather Sport Wagon. She just did her 30,000 mile maintenance. I did the maintenance for her. I told her 40K she needs to go to not the dealership, but to Redline, the guys that do my mechanical work, because 40K is the big one, even though she has an automatic 6-speed and even though she doesn't have all-wheel drive. It's still a big one. And I'd like to have a professional look over her car completely. I can do an oil change easily and then have them take it in and do the other stuff, but something that a professional needs to look over. But I did order her 10,000 mile air filter here, and it came like this. Can you guys see this? This little dent here? So I emailed Paul at Shop DAP and I asked him, hey, is this safe to use? I have no doubt he's going to probably tell me to send it back to him or hey, keep it and replace it or whatever. But the way it was packed, it was stuffed. There was paper at the bottom. He stuffed it, or someone stuffed it down to the paper and it bent, and they put the oil next to it for my Golf R oil change, and it bent like this. I don't think it's going to get a good seal, so we'll see what he says about that. But the Sport Wagon's doing really well. Just did the oil change on it right at the 10,000 mile mark, well, 30,000 mile mark. It's performing wonderfully. She's got the left front brake rotor is pitted, kind of, so when you have heavy braking, when you brake it initially, like coming out the interstate, you're doing 80 miles an hour and you're braking, consistently braking, but not fast. The first 5 seconds, smooth as butter. Once the brake rotor starts to heat up, you get like a pulsating back and forth. I don't want to just put on new pads. I also don't want to put on new rotors. I would prefer to wait until after winter's over, because winter is horrible on our brakes, and then do her front brakes completely. And I'll do a video on how to change the Sport Wagon front brakes. I think her back brakes are fine. It's just the front ones. And it's been an issue ever since the 10,000 mile mark. And she got this thing at 6,000 miles as a CPO. And it's at 26, 27, 28 now, roughly. So not long on the brake life. But my Mark 6 Golf R had the exact same issue, so who knows. I want to make sure I'm still recording before I keep going on and rambling myself, because if I talk to myself for half an hour and there was no one watching, well, it's just going to be a normal day, I guess, but let's just check real quick. Okay. Still recording. Whew. Really hope this is in focus, too. Can't fix focus in post-production. All right, so now let's talk about the new bike a little bit. And I think this is a really important thing to mention. Those of you who subscribed for more than 2 years, you've seen this firsthand. Got some bike videos here from I'll explain the background. You guys have seen this for a while, but this is a time lapse from our ride. I went to a BMW rally on Saturday, the 8th, and I couldn't find any GS riders that wanted to go off-road, like really hard off-road. I met the Quebec crew. They're the QC motorcycle group, BMW group, and they said, you don't have knobbies, so you're probably going to fall behind, but you can try to keep up with us. And I did, and I had a blast, and we spent 6 hours going 180 miles on about 20% tarmac, 80% dirt. It was amazing. It was a wonderful, wonderful day in Killington, Rutland, Vermont area. And they're hardcore. They really are. We went through puddles where my engine was submerged. I mean, the air intake's up here. And I was up to my knees in mud. And it was an amazing experience. So, and the bike performed beautifully. Even in mud, slick mud. The Alaki 3s, which are not meant for off-road. They're like a 90-10 tire. It's either the bike's intelligence, the bike's weight, the way it's balanced. It's definitely not the rider. We know that. So, but you know, in talking about the bike, I want to talk about the car. This is probably distracting, isn't it? Which is, I had a Mark 6 Golf R. I did nothing to it. I just drove it. I dealt with the mechanical problems as they came up. I constantly read online forums, let any participation in the online forums. I looked at aftermarket parts. I spent time under the car, in the car, really experiencing the car without any idea of doing anything myself to it, not even replacing a windshield wiper. And then I got the Mark 7 Golf R 3 years later, and immediately everything's been done by me except for really catastrophic things where I needed a mechanic, and even then I'll record it and publish it for you guys. There's this part here. This is crazy. I don't know if you guys see this or not, but like we were on some seriously backcountry here, like just mud, dirt, slosh. It was so much fun. It really was a lot of fun. So the same thing's repeating itself with the bike. And it's not going to be the level the Golf R is going to, because the bike won't receive any mechanical performance upgrades that the Golf R did. The bike, I don't need a bike with more than 125 horsepower. So that's not the point of the bike. The point of the bike is to make it work within my riding style. So I'm not going in and changing a ton of stuff that I don't know I need yet. I'm only adding things, I only buying things as I need them. So it's not a mod fest. But as you can see, when I had the 09 GSA, that entire life of the bike, I did a couple of mods, again, as I needed them, but it was done with care. It was done very gradually. I think I only did like 20 videos of mods on the old BMW. This one will probably reach over 100 in the life of the bike. I have a list actually. I'll show you guys the list of what I published earlier. Because I want to go over this with you guys, you know, and share. So we've already done a lot of stuff to it. We've done the thing came without any racks because of the recall, so I added GSA racks from a part. So I used a used GSA rack set. I bought the Beaumont Defender side and top cases. I needed luggage. I bought a small tank bag. I realized it was too small, so I bought a larger tank bag, also used for the same price. So now I have 2 tank bags to choose from with the same locking mechanism. I've ordered LED turn signals. A little insider baseball here. I was going to order LED turn signals from Auto Key, LED. I ordered them closely to see if they could find LED that fit my bike. The plan is to send the ones I order into the Auto LED and ask them if they can replicate them if they can. You guys have a new product in the VW community that the BMW community can benefit from, which is these great turn signals on the motorcycles that are insanely bright. This bike was 25 grand MSRP. It comes with bulb turn signals, LED headlamps, a $1,600 part, LED auxiliary lights, which are like $800 parts, and then they put these $3 bulbs for the turn signals. It may be a DOT thing, I really don't know, but anyway. And then what else we put on the bike? That's it, right? A couple small things, but nothing major. So I've already ordered new RAM mounts. The black GPS holder that comes in the bike is too thin for my current RAM mount U-bolt. It's too thin, so the U-bolt won't screw around it. So I've ordered smaller RAM U-bolts that will go next to the left of the GPS. I also ordered RAM mount for the handlebars, so I can put the GoPro mounted forward facing as opposed to sticking it off the front to the windshield. It's going to be a much more stabilized video. So right now with the GoPro mounted on the front windshield, I can't take video because the windscreen moves too much. So all I can do is time lapse with the GoPro. So if I mount the GoPro to the crash bars, they'll still be rattling if I'm off road, but they're going to be a lot more stabilized than the windscreen, especially on the highway. So that'll be coming in. And then I also ordered an additional RAM mount that will go on top of the brake reservoir as a secondary mounting location for either my cup holder, for the iPhone if I want to move it closer, a second GPS, a Spot, which is the emergency tracker system for bikes. So I basically have 3 RAM ball locations on the bike for using for different purposes. After that, this is my current order of things I want to get on the bike. It's gonna change order depending on need. If I break something, it's gonna get put to the front of the list. And if I find one of these used for cheap, I'll just go ahead and grab them because it don't want to pass up a deal. So remember, the bike has 2 purposes for me: the weekend off-road warrior, and then the weekday commuter. And there's the 3 times a year long tour where Heather and I are going to ride 500 to 1,000 miles on the bike in 5 days, to and from various parts of Canada, Midwest, Pennsylvania, that kind of stuff. So for touring, we've got the Sergeant seat, which is an aftermarket seat. It's 2-up. I had it on my last bike. I loved it. The touring windscreen, this windscreen's too low. It hits me. Wind is just beating me in the face if I go above 70. So that's going to be an essential thing. That's going to require special mounts to keep the windscreen stable. Also for touring, we have Beaumont lid organizers. These go inside the lids of the side things, and you can stuff things in there and zipper them closed. Because the lids basically are wasted space right now. They come up, but there's nothing in them. Also Beaumont handles, so when we take them off the bike to go into the campsite or the hotel room, you can hold them, one in each arm, 2 at a time, which is nice. I've got some toppers for the side luggage that I don't think you can see based on the zoom level of this, but they basically go on top of the, they strap down to the Beaumont top lid pieces here. And they're extra space, but also you can stuff them full of socks, and Heather can use them as armrests, which is great. So we're going to keep that in there. Then we have crash bar bags for more storage while touring. And then finally, for touring, auxiliary lights that are really, really bright. I want ones that don't replace the current auxiliary lights. Those are always on. I want ones that I turn on only when the high beam is on, that are just so bright that I can see on the road. So at night, like Saturday night I was driving home. I don't think I had that clip anymore. Maybe I do. I'll show you this clip. You'll see the shortcomings here of the, well, let me just talk, let me get this out here first. You'll see the shortcomings here of the, that's me looking at the camera, of the stock lights. So when I'm at, I'm going down the mountain here. This is the high beam. I don't know if you can see this or not. You've got a throw here of the signs, and this is a corner, right? But as I go through here and make these turns, you don't really see around the bend, which obviously there's going to be dynamics to that, right? So this is low beam, high beam. So there's a nice little thing there. But as you go around corners, the unknown past here, visually if it was daytime I could see this, but I can't see that because the light just doesn't throw far enough. I really want lights that go down the road more, so a spot. And I also want lights that throw out here. So if there's a deer over here waiting to jump out in front of me, I can't see it with the current setup, even with the high beams on. Nor can I see a deer or a turkey down here. So I really want an additional throw, and I think that the better auxiliary lights that work with a high beam on, both 30 degree and 10 degree, are going to be great for this kind of work. So they're expensive too, but and then for off-screen, off-road work, we need the headlight guard. Like I mentioned earlier, the LED headlight housing is $1,600. Headlight guard is $95. Totally worth it. Radiator guard. This is water-cooled, not air-cooled, so you've got two radiators in the front of the vehicle that have coolant going through them that cool off. As rocks hit them over time, the fins will bend. It's just good to have radiator guard there to keep those from bending and becoming less effective over time. Double tape mirrors. I had these on my last bike. They were the longer ones that used ram mounts. You could fold them in off-roading. They were fantastic. I love them. They shook at high speeds. Someone has told me that the current ones don't shake anymore, so I'm going to try them. I found a place online that has them for $60 versus the 110 double take is asking for. Reinforcements of the stock crash bars. So the stock crash bars, they go over the cylinder heads, but they don't actually connect to anything behind the cylinder heads. So if you fall straight on the bike really hard, they're going to bend in towards cylinder heads, and over time they're just going to be against cylinder heads. I want to keep that separation there intact, so I want bars that connect to the back of the cylinder heads, kind of where my shin is, and then connect to the frame to keep that, to transfer that inertia into the frame versus into the cylinder heads themselves. But I still need cylinder head guards as well to cover the cylinder heads from rocks and all kinds of stuff. And then finally, once the Inaki 3s are worn down, I want some more off-road centered tires. Not full knobbies, but something that can handle higher speed gravel than these currently can. That's currently my list of GSA stuff. All of it's going to change based on what breaks in the bike as it breaks. I didn't put blockbusters on there, which are the reinforced hand guards. I don't need them. I don't run through really small, tight terrain where I'm hitting trees or anything. If I fall and the stock ones break, then I'll throw blockbusters on. It's kind of one of those things that as things break, we'll just replace them. That's kind of the goal directive here. Obviously, with the GSA, I'll keep doing my own maintenance on the bike. I decided that I'm going to do the 6,000 mile intervals myself. 12,000 mile intervals will go to BMW for, until I get confident enough to do my own valve adjustment checks. If I suddenly at 12,000 miles feel like doing it, I'll do it. It just really depends on that. I think I can probably save a lot of money buying my own tools and watching online guides and doing it myself, but there is some additional confidence in letting BMW do it. We'll see. I really can't say for sure, but I think for sure I'll do the oil changes, but the valve adjustments I won't do myself. Again, TBD. Man, are we at 30 minutes yet? I think that's pretty much it. You know, the channel's doing great. Thank you so much for watching all of them. I'm blown away by how popular the bike coverage again. I think the last 100 subscribers are the motorcycle people. I thought there was not a YouTube market for my motorcycle videos, but I think the issue was that I was doing mods on a 2009 bike. All the 09 owners already do their own work. They don't watch YouTube videos, whereas the new liquid-cooled models are going to be popular enough with new people to the scene that a video will help them push through it. And remember, I don't know what I'm doing, but I push through and I make enough edits to make it look like I know what I'm doing, but my mistakes, you won't make them. You watch my video and you see, okay, I now see how to do it. I've already edited it. So yeah, so the video stops, so I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah, so people really enjoy the videos of newer bikes. Obviously, they're going to be a lot stickier. If I was doing mods to an 04 or 32, all those videos have been made. And the market's not really there anymore. So the 09 GSA videos did not do very well. The 17 videos are off to an amazing start. So, yeah, yeah, it's all good. So dash cam stuff will come back as I drive the car more. No trips coming up. Winter is coming, so bike will go in the downstairs basement while the basement's not done yet. I'll do work that I just highlighted to the bike in that time frame. Get ready for spring riding. Heather's excited. She started saving for her riding gear, so she wants to do some 2-up trips with me next spring, which is great. We want to do Prince Edward Island, and we want to do Munch Block. I went there last year, and it's just a great ride up there in QC. Arcadia, various trips with her, so that's going to be great. In the house, you know, a lot of our money right now is going to the house. The bike was an extra few bucks a month over my 09 GSA, not a huge amount after I did all the financing. So I have the same money I used to have after buying the new bike, but all our house money is going to the house. And it used to be, you know, a lot of it's going to be for savings. Only a little bit's for savings right now, and a lot of it's going to finishing the basement, various projects. I'll show you guys the house now. We can turn around before we end this. It'll be a little out of focus, but so we added this the vinyl record player is up and running, which is nice. I moved my espresso machine upstairs. You can kind of see it in the corner right there. Espresso machine is upstairs finally. But yeah, dirty house. Everything's looking good. You know, the house is treating me well. We want to finish the basement. We haven't yet. It's going to happen soon, very soon. Wintertime is good. The contractors around here always give a good 15-20% discount during wintertime. And with that, I think I'm into the video. And that's it. So, man, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go start prepping dinner. We're having tacos tonight. Heather should be home soon. She's sick, so I'm cooking for her. It's 5:30. And oh, one last thing I gotta do before I start making tacos is I've got the Shield TV here. This is my first ever Android device, and the only reason I got it, I feel so conflicted about owning this thing. Every time something goes wrong with it, I think, fuck, I really don't want this device. I hate Google. Why the fuck is this in my house? I bought it because I wanted a huge Synology, which I got now. We have the 36 terabyte Synology downstairs. It's the enterprise model. It's really fast, but it lacks hardware transcoding. It's a quad-core 2.4 gigahertz Intel chip in there with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 36 terabytes of storage. It's great. I store all of my content on there. It used to be I ran Plex on a DS214 Play 2-bay net. And so with the hardware transcoding, it handled 1080p transcoding flawlessly. But we're entering the 4K world now, and I'm ripping a lot of 4K movies to Plex. And I wanted a device that could transcode 4K, and this is one of the only ones that can do it unless I set up a physical desktop downstairs in server rack and transcode with like a quad-core Intel i7 or something. So I got this guy. And it has two purposes, right? The first is that well, three purposes. The first is that it's a Plex server and transcodes 4K content. The second purpose is I can watch 4K Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and 4K YouTube videos, whereas the current Apple TV cannot. That might change next week at the Apple event. But finally, it's a great Plex player. You know, it plays 4K content and it hosts 4K hosts content over to the iMac, the iPad, the Apple TV in the room, the Apple TV here. It does a good Plex server. Lately, though, when I'm in YouTube, I try to exit a video that's playing, it won't exit. It's not the remote though, because both remotes won't respond. This is the premium package, it was like $400 or something. The premium one that came with two remotes. Plex works fine on the Apple TV with this hosting it, but using the Plex client on this is like really slow. Like it takes forever to. I click on a TV show, it says loading, and it waits. And if I click it again, it'll go to the page, and I can play immediately. Whereas there's no delay on the Apple TV, so it's not with the server. It's something with the UI in this thing. And every day I use this, it gets slower and slower. Kind of like back in the day when you had PCs, you had to reload every year. I think Android has that problem. It gets cluttered. I think Android gets cluttered. And, you know, it just pisses me off. So I've got to do a Shield support ticket to these guys and basically ask them for brand new remotes and possibly brand new device. I have no idea to back this stupid piece of shit up. And I have no other way to transcode 4K content I guess I could spend $400 just build my own tiny little PC and put it in the basement and make that the headless Plex server and throw this thing away and then buy the new 4K Apple TV and then be done with all of it. I really don't know. So, long way of saying I still hate Android, I still hate Google, Apple for life, and that's all there is to it. Sorry that you guys use Android phones, but you're never going to see me use Google products on this channel, except for YouTube, because I can't monetize videos that I host on my own web server. The YouTube monetization has helped me make these videos for you all, so I have to stick with YouTube, but other than that, no. Alright, end of the video. Thanks for watching. Screw whatever this thing is, the Shield TV. Don't get one if you want reliability. And have a nice day. Goodbye.